Thanks for joining us. Now, two buses were involved in a head-on collision on the Kintampo-Techiman Road, leading to the death of over 60 persons. Now, both buses had over 50 passengers, each on board. One of the buses caught fire after the collision. The said accident occurred at about 2 a.m. Friday at Ampoma. Correspondent Anas Sabit spoke to the Kintampo Divisional Commander ACP Joseph Entwi Jao.
Around 1:40 p.m., we had information that two buses have collided at Amoma Junction here, a village called Akura. Why is climbing the hill? This one was traveling from Accra to Bolika, whilst the one bent was from Garutimpani to Kumasi. In fact, nobody knew what happened, but eyewitnesses in the other car stated that when they were coming, they didn't know what happened. They only saw that the car was set up this. We collided with this one. So that's what we are doing. As of now, so many casualties. We all observed. So we are trying to maybe clear the route.
Do we know the number so far, the number of persons who...
this one, I think the VIP man is here. This one takes about 50 plus. And great because we saw some children, so I think it will be 50 plus.
50 plus dead.
Pardon?
Dead. How many dead out of the 50 plus?
We can't estimate now because we are now taking some to the hospital.
And the other one?
The other one to maybe the same 60 plus. We all the same to the Chima, and some to the Chima.
The rest have died. So roughly, do we know the number, the suspected number to have lost their lives?
We can't estimate now unless we check from the other. So let's clear the route before.
The injured have been taken to Techiman and Kintampo. Is that what it is?
Jima, and Kintampo. They have been sent to the hospital. Some are alive. They will send them to the hospital. We are here to do that.
So both the injured and the dead, you can't tell us?
No, we can't.
Thank you.
Now, our correspondent Anas Sabit has been able to confirm that 9 children are among the dead. He describes the area where the accident occurred.
Almost all the survivors, I mean those who have been stable, who were not dead among those who were involved in the accident, have been moved to the nearest health facilities, precisely Jima District Hospital, Kintampo Municipal Hospital, and then Techiman Holy Family Hospital. We can't tell as it stands now their status. We can say that over 60 persons are confirmed dead from what we have seen on the ground. There are 2 buses having a head-on collision, one caught up with fire, and then almost all the passengers on board that particular bus got bent. A few of them, we are told, about 10 or less, who received various degrees of pain or survived. They were right to nearest health facilities. There were children among the 10, and we counted about 9 of the 10 who were dead being children. So that is one sad story about what we encountered this morning. And the police have been trying to control traffic from this dawn up to this minute, so that we wouldn't have extra traffic by the same point. The 2 facilities that are very close to the accident scene, Jima District Hospital is so small. The Kintampo Municipal Hospital is probably not up to that standard. The referral point is the Techiman Holy Family Hospital, which is quite distant away from where we are currently standing. Few moments ago, some of the dead who were moved to either Jima or Kintampo, we saw the police moving them to Techiman because we were told the Jima District Hospital as well as that of Kintampo were both full, so they have to move them to Techiman. The facilities we have here are very small, and I'm afraid they might not be able to respond to the large number of persons who were right there. The police have had, the MTTD brought in a towing car. One of the vehicles is still having half of it occupying the street. So vehicle upcoming vehicles have to slow down for the next lane to move before the other ones are able to move. So the police are ensuring that they control the traffic. The two vehicles, one we were told was heading towards the southern part. They couldn't tell us whether it's going to Kumasi or Accra, but it's coming from the northern part of the country. That was the one which caught up with fire. And the other vehicle we were told was coming from Accra heading towards the north. And that one had a lot of passengers having injuries, but a few of them survived compared to the other one which was heading down south from the northern part of the country. It will be recalled that about a year or two ago, there was an accident on this same stretch involving Metro Mass Transit and then a truck with tomatoes, leading to the death of over 60 passengers. Almost close to the same point is where this particular accident occurred. But there's also something one policeman disclosed to me, which is not related to the accident, but on this same stretch, according to him, from last night about 11 p.m. up to this minute, they've had about 3 separate accidents, including the one we are reporting on. Different reports we are gathering indicate that one of the drivers might be sleeping or something close to that when the third accident happened. Veering off his road to collide with the other vehicle that was heading towards the northern part of the country.
We stay with this story and move to Parliament now because Joseph Opoku Gakpo, our parliamentary correspondent, has been speaking to the ranking member of the Roads and Highways Committee, Kwame Agboja. Joseph, what has the member of Parliament been saying? Right. Joseph Opoku Gakpo is joining us on the line shortly, and Kwame Agboja, who is also a member of Parliament for Adaklu, has been speaking to him. Joseph, what has the member of Parliament been saying?
Felicia J, the MP for the area, has been talking about how this is a very devastating development with the accident that has happened. She's attributing the extent of death to what she said was the slow response by the Ghana National Fire Service. And she thinks that if there was a fire service team close by, particularly in the constituency, who could have responded, then the situation could have been different. But she's also been, her suspicion is that probably one of the drivers of the vehicle was sleeping. But other MPs have been commenting on this. On Roads and Transport, Kwame Agboja, who is the rank, he's been asking questions about the work that the interministerial task force that was established to help deal with issues of have been doing, particularly when they notorious accident spots. Let me speak to him briefly. But thank you very much for joining us. First of all, how is the news of this accident coming to you?
Very devastating. Our condolences to the victims, and we pray and support the police to carry out a quick investigation. It's a very sad Friday for our country. Dozens of our compatriots die out of an accident.
It's known as the notorious accident spot. Could anything have been done even ahead of today so you don't see the mass deaths of more than 60 that we've seen?
Well, it's difficult to tell at the moment. As you rightly said, the president put together a team of ministers, I think 3 of them. We are yet to understand what work they've done so far. I am sure the particular spot we're talking about is already an identified black spot in terms of accident. So we are intending to hold the ministers to Parliament to tell us what they've done so far. But I keep insisting that it's early days yet to determine exactly how these 2 buses collided. Obviously, if it's a head-on collision, it means one bus veered into the route of the other one. It could have been a sleepy driver. It could have been a mechanical failure on the part of one of the vehicles. But as you are aware, the possible witnesses, which may be the drivers and other things, sadly, are probably not here. So it's only the police that can help us address it. But I think for us to address it in the long term, the committee that the president set up must come out to tell us what they've done so far and what they've done particularly in that area. The MP is right. Sometimes we can't prevent accidents all the time, but the support services, the fire service, the rescue teams, the ambulances, other things, do we have enough in the area? If we had, how were they able to be mobilized to come to the aid of the people? So it's early days yet, and I wish we can all be open-minded to see what will come out so that we can take plans and actions that will prevent others in the future.
That's Kwame Abuja there. He's the ranking member on the Roads and Transport Committee in Parliament. Daniel.
Thank you very much, Joseph Opoku-Gakpo, and we look forward to that moment when the ministers will be hauled before Parliament to answer those questions, as Mr. Akboja revealed. Now, away from that story, the Swedru Divisional Police Command has begun investigations into a video which a uniformed man is seen kicking the head of a young man who is on his knees with his boots. In a statement released Friday, the police stated emphatically that the man kicking the victim is not a policeman, but a metropolitan guard of the Swedru Municipal Assembly. Here are excerpts of that statement, and that's the video you just saw on your screen there. Yes, and so the statement says the attention of the police administration has been drawn to a video which has gone viral on social media, in which a uniformed person is seen kicking a young man who is kneeling before some civilians. The person kicking the victim in the said video is not a police officer. This part is emphasized. He is a civilian, a metropolitan guard of the Swedru Municipal Assembly. Now, preliminary investigations show that about 3 p.m. on Thursday, 21st March 2019, at Aguna Swedru in the Central Region, the victim was arrested by civilians, including Metro guards of the Swedru Municipal Assembly, for an alleged offense. The civilians started assaulting the victim or suspect. However, when the attention of a police officer on duty nearby was drawn to the scene, the officer went to the rescue of the victim and filed a report at the Aguna Swedru police station. The police administration hereby emphasizes that the person seen kicking the victim in the video is not a police officer. The matter is being investigated by the Swedru Divisional Police Command. It's signed by Simon Tenku, ASP Simon Tenku. He is signing on behalf of the Director of Public Affairs. Now, as you just heard me read in that statement, the young man who was being assaulted was arrested by some civilians for an alleged offense. It's unclear what offense that was, though. The Central Region Police PRO, DSP Irene Opon, says the matter is being investigated.
The police have already taken action.
Which is?
One came to the station divisional headquarters and lodged a complaint. So she's a complainant in this issue. And this morning, the divisional commander has issued an invitation to the city guard authority to report with the two men. So already the police have taken action on that case.
Which complaint was lodged specifically?
She lodged a complaint that that young guy was assaulted in her presence. So we are yet to do investigations to know what started what was the reason for the assault, and also take caution statements from suspects involved and prepare the appropriate charges against them.
But if a policeman witnesses an assault, what's the first step to be taken? Is she not supposed to arrest the person?
Point of correction. It depends on the situation that she meets. If there is an ideal situation that she can just, an arrest can be an invitation. An arrest, I can handcuff you that I've arrested you. So if at that point she thinks that the situation around her is not conducive, she has to back out, go to the station, inform the appropriate authorities for her to get directives and also support from other policemen to do this. And this, the good news in this issue is that they are coming from an institution that can easily be identified. And in the video, you could see that the policewoman was making an attempt to stop the city guard from assaulting the boy.
We move from that story there, and some residents of Keta are on a demonstration to stop President Akufo-Addo from imposing an MCE on them. According to the demonstrators, the president's MCE nominee to the area is an alien, and therefore they cannot work with him. My colleague Ivy Setoji is following the demonstrators and joins us live on phone with more. Ivy, who is this MCE nominee being protested? Hi, Ivy, if you can hear me, we want to know who this MCE nominee is.
According to them, the MCE nominee is Godwin Eduji Efa, whom, according to the youth and then the party people in the Keta constituency, is not known to them, is not one of them, is not from the Keta constituency, but rather from Angloga, and so they don't want anyone from Angloga district to come and become the MCE for the Keta municipality.
Have we heard from this MCE nominee?
Well, we tried reaching him on phone, we tried our possible, but they couldn't get him to get inside of the story.
Now, have these people made any proposition for any other person for the president's nomination?
Hello?
Have these people proposed any other person for the president's nomination?
Not at all. They are saying that President can select any other person who is from Keta municipality and not that particular guy or anyone from Angloga district. All they want, according to them, is someone from Keta municipality. Any of the towns from Keta municipality.
So has there been an official response to their demonstration?
Hello?
Has there been an official response to their demonstration?
No, there has not been any response to the demonstration. What they told us was they went to the presidency to petition the president. That was Monday. Went to the voter registration minister, the local government minister as well, and the chief of staff to petition them. They gave them some days to work it out. So when they couldn't hear from them, they decided to go on demonstration to tell the people their grievances. So for now, they came to the Keta Municipal Assembly, but not to present the petition to anyone, but just to tell the residents that they need their support to kick the president's nominee.
Thank you very much, Ivy Setoji. Now, today is World Water Day. The theme for the 2019 commemoration is Leaving No One Behind. This is an adaptation of the central promise for the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. That's the SDG Goal 6. Now, it aims to ensure availability and sustainability of management, sustainable management, of water for all by 2030. Now, by definition, this means leaving no one behind. But as the vice chairman of CONUAS believes the Ghanaian government needs to do more to meet this target. He spoke earlier on News Desk.
You need to have access. That is fantastic. But what we are saying is that do it in line with regulation. Don't just take the law into your own hands and drill and start drinking.
So where do I go? Who do I go to?
There are institutions in Ghana, who are mandated to check this. Even the district assembly, the Metropolitan Assembly, Municipal Assembly, has a responsibility in this one. The Water Resources Commission has a responsibility here. The Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, has a responsibility. I would want to say that even Ghana Water Company should be interested in this. And yet, it is a very unregulated area, which can be dangerous.
So what do we do now moving forward? We've got a Minister for Sanitation, we've got like the Water Resources Commission, we've got departments, we've got people who are paid to do their jobs. And government has promised us that Accra will be the cleanest city, which includes water, sanitation and all that. How do we get there? What should government be looking at now?
I think that, first of all, as we have said, let government increase resources to the water, sanitation, and hygiene sector. That is key. Once the resources are available, like you said, we have the men. You go to ministries, departments, agencies, and all these institutions, we have the technical people who have the capacity to support the effort at increasing access to safe water, improve sanitation and hygiene. What we lack is the implementation of the policies that we have developed. backed by the resources that they need to do their work. And so I think that should be the first step. And then after that, let's prioritize the needs of poor and vulnerable people because they are suffering. I've been to rural areas recently, and it will surprise you to know that people are even lucky to have a dugout serving as their source of drinking water. It is unacceptable.
Meanwhile, accessing potable water remains a major challenge to some public health facilities across the country. At some hospitals, patients will have to part with some money before having access to washrooms due to scarcity of water. The police hospital, however, is among the lucky few which can boast of regular flow of clean water. This, however, demands fending off outsiders and depriving them of that essential commodity. Else, that may affect their operations. As the world marks Water Day, Joy News' MFA Etiamo Eli has been speaking to hospital authorities and some patients on access to potable water at the health facility.
Without water, then we have to shut down. We have to shut down because infections can easily be transferred. How do we clean our equipment? How will our doctors, their paramedical staff wash their hands? How will patients bath? How will their food be cooked? There will be many challenges.
The Sustainable Development Goal 6 focuses on access to clean water. A 2018 progress report on this goal indicates too many people still lack access to safely managed water supplies and sanitation facilities. The police hospital, for instance, sometimes directly feels the pressure brought on by this lack as a result of its location. The public relations officer tells Joy News they've had to fend off outsiders to effectively manage the hospital's water supply.
Communities around us have had stressful experiences. And when it comes like that, we have to be very rigid, preventing people from entering to try and fetch water or anything like that.
A visit to two key units of the hospital which rely heavily on water reveal the hospital is taking steps to ensure that none of the patients who visit the facility is left behind in accessing potable water. Serena and Cynthia are both mothers. Their children are on admission at the children's ward. Both parents have different experiences to share in accessing water at the hospital. Serena, for instance, believes the situation outside the wards should be improved.
I think generally the water system around the compound is not the best, but within the children's ward, I think it's okay because since I came, the washrooms are running and even in here, the water is running. But I think it's not just about the water. It should come with some facilities like soaps, towels, so that when you wash your hand, you're able to, with water, you're able to wash it with soap and then use a clean towel to come and clean your hand.
If I told you I've had problem accessing water since I came to this hospital, I'll be telling lies. 2 sinks have been fitted at this ward to ensure easy access. Apart from the clarity, caretakers of patients on this ward say the flow of water is regular. The situation is not different at the maternity ward. New mothers describe provision of water at the ward as the least of their worries.
Oh, the water is normal because Monday it was hard for me, so I bathed 4 times, but it was flowing, so the water is cool, it's normal.
Okay, if you go to washroom, if you need something to flush or to bath, everything is okay. They are flowing normal.
The quality of water that flows, is it the kind you're okay with?
Yes, it's easy ladder with soap, so I'm okay with it.
The supply, usage and management of safe water at the Ghana Police Hospital can be described as the ideal situation which should exist in every other public health facility across the country to ensure access for all. For Joy News, Emefa Atiamo Eli reporting.
Now, it's a tale of mobilizing women for community action after decades of ignorance led to many sicknesses due to open defecation. We take you to Nakong Sabro in the Kasana-Nankana West District of the Upper East region, where the women teamed up with the men to construct household latrines in every home in the community in their efforts to combat open defecation. Here's a report by Upper East correspondent Albert Sorry.
It may be a job thought to be a preserve for the men, but for these women here at Nakong Saboro in the Kasana-Nankana West District of the Upper East region, it is a job they have come to love and to do with passion. Together as a group, sometimes numbering up to 30 women, they construct these latrines from household to household within the community.
Any house, when you say you are ready for your toilet, all of the women and our husbands will go and help you for you to blade your toilet, because
Magdalene Tiose is a trained latrine artisan and leader of the women's group here at Nakong Saboro. With the help of other women, Magdalene can put up a latrine without involving the men. But at the moment, she is pregnant, so she is cautious about engaging in hard physical work.
I want this assembly to train more people, especially the women, to know how to blade a toilet so that it can help us, because a woman, we suffer a lot. If your child is sick, the problem will come to you. So when the women know the work more, it will be better.
The men of the community have not left the women to do this alone. At the initial stages of constructing the latrines, the men often do the digging and lining of the pits. Moses Ali is also a trained latrine artisan.
We are building inside to up. We are do slab covered, and we build outside. So some women give the water and the grass and many things.
The women fetch sand and water at the initial stages of construction, but some of them can also dig, build, and plaster walls. For many years, defecating in the vast open lands in this community was seen as a normal practice, but the spread of diseases like cholera was also frequent. The Center for Indigenous Knowledge and Organizational Development, CICOD, and WaterAid Ghana therefore started some advocacy work here at Nakong Saboro. Kennedy Abotiani works with CICOD and WaterAid Ghana.
There were no sanitation facilities, that is to say toilets. Not a single toilet was in this particular community. And our approach, which is endogenous development, we believe and use the physical, spiritual, and social resources that are in the communities to foster development. Community people were selected by the communities to participate in a training, and that training was for latrine artisans.
The story of Nakong Saboro perhaps goes to show that the role of women in Ghanaian communities is key to achieving this target. Albert Sorry, Joy News, Nakong Saboro, Upper East Region.
We go back to that earlier story of that accident that took place on the Kintampo Road, and my Joint Line editor Malik Dabo has joined me in studio to put this conversation in perspective. Malik, welcome. This is not the first time we are having an accident on this particular stretch of road, is it?
No, it's not. It's not, and the reasons are not far-fetched. First of all, this is a place of the road which is not lit. And these accidents mostly happen in the night when the road is not lit. The road is not only not lit, the road is also dark. It's not only dark, it's also curvy. So when you have all of these factors, the road is dark, it is curvy, it is narrow, you certainly will have, and you have drivers who are driving without regard for the road safety regulations, then what you have is this unfortunate disaster that we have on our hands. Unfortunately, these things happen time and again, and we do nothing about them. And I'll just give you a few figures. January this year alone, 197 people have died through road accidents. That is an increase, a 9.4% increase over last year. In January last year, 180 people died. If you look at generally the figures, in 2017, the number of people who died on our roads were 2,076 people died. Compared to the figures in 2018, 2,341 people died in road accidents in this country. So that means the figures are on the increase. If January figures this year are on an increase over the last year, which is also an increase over the year before, it means the figures are going up. Why are the figures going up? Because the road safety regulations are simply not respected. And the institutions which are supposed to enforce the regulations have themselves gone to sleep. And yet these accidents happen. People die. 60 people in one accident. In some other jurisdictions, many people would have lost their jobs by now. Investigations would have been commissioned by now. Important persons of state would have visited the area. Forensic audits will be done. Investigations will be done. All those who have been found to have played roles in this accident would have been punished. And the things that result in the accident would have been fixed, i.e., traffic lights will be put on the roads will be expanded, because if you have a narrow road, there are just 2 lanes in this area. And a major highway largely is just 2 lanes. When you attempt to overtake and you have no idea the speed at which the oncoming vehicle is coming, what happened is head-on collision. It is the reason why all these accidents result from head-on collisions.
It's interesting you mention institutional action, because we have seen the beginning of that action. The president, after the death of the artist Ebony, commissioned a 3-member interministerial committee on road accidents. What have we gathered on their work?
You and I have been asking the question as to what this committee has done and what they have achieved. It does not appear that anything substantial has been done in this area. In fact, even before the president set up this committee, we know that the Road Safety Commission exists. This is a standing commission whose responsibility is to put in measures in place to stem these kinds of accidents. Unfortunately, you have had a continuous increase in the rate of accidents and their attendant deaths, ravaging this country year in, year out. In the last 10-15 years, apart from 2015 when there was a slight decrease in the number of accidents, in the last 15 years, every single year, you have not less than 2,000 people die on our roads. And yet nothing happens. Those are huge numbers, and these are the productive members of the society, because the strong people are those who travel. They engage in commerce. They engage in business and economic activity. We have just submitted 60 families to grieving as a result of this accident.
Thank you very much, Malik Abbas Dabo, for joining us this afternoon. And he really puts this conversation into the perspective that it must be put in. Hopefully, Mr. Kwame Agboja of the Parliament Select Committee on Roads and Transport will follow up on his request for any of these ministers to answer questions on the floor of Parliament.